The sea was calm that evening, too calm, almost reverent in its stillness. The sun stretched thin across the Atlantic, turning the hull of the Aegean Sea into a drifting monument of light. For 2 decades, she had carried oil across oceans, steady, obedient, unbroken. Steel held her bones, salt fed her scars. Every ship carries memory, and hers was heavy with it. Somewhere beyond the horizon, pressure was building the kind you don't hear until it breaks. As night fell, a voice crackled over the radio, low and distant. Weather warning issued, winds rising. The crew glanced up, then went back to their work. They trusted the steel, the engines, the rhythm of their world. But the calm above was not peace. It was the ocean holding its breath.
Weather warning issued. Winds rising.
The storm came like a thief, sudden, merciless, alive. Wind tore through the bay, slamming into the hull until steel cried out. The rudder jammed, the compass spun. The engines fought the current, then surrendered. And beneath the dark water, something waited. The reef rose unseen until it struck. The sound wasn't thunder, it was steel folding against rock, bending like bone under unseen weight. Alarms screamed. The bridge tilted. A man fell. Another shouted through static, "Mayday, Mayday, this is the Aegean Sea. We've lost control." His voice dissolved into white noise. Red lights spun across wet metal, reflecting panic in every surface. And then, for the briefest moment, came silence. The kind that sits heavy on the chest, the kind that means something is breaking, and there's no stopping it.
Mayday, Mayday, we have a breach!
What was that?
Hard to port now.
Mayday! Mayday! This is the Aegean Sea!
When steel breaks, it bleeds oil. And when oil meets air, it finds fire.
The engine is failing.
Flames erupted from the wound, racing across the surface of the sea like veins of molten gold. The water turned black beneath them, burning with the reflection of its own betrayal. Men ran through smoke and heat, their voices swallowed by the roar. The captain stood at the bridge, face lit by firelight, eyes fixed on the horizon. He didn't call for help anymore. He just watched. Below him, the tanker split open, releasing its cargo thousands of tons of crude into the deep. The explosions came one after another, not like war, but like confession. The night glowed red, then orange, then faded into ash. When dawn broke, the fire still burned, and the Aegean Sea still floated, half ship, half ghost, unwilling to rest.
Get out of here now!
3 days later, the smoke had thinned, but the air was still heavy with oil and memory. Out on the horizon, shapes began to emerge. Small, slow, deliberate. The salvage teams had arrived. Men in orange suits stepped onto blackened decks, their boots sinking into soot. They spoke little. They knew what was at stake: $2 million and the weight of a dying vessel. Cranes groaned to life. Cables hissed. Pumps started humming. Beneath the surface, divers descended into cold green silence, their flashlights carving tunnels through suspended oil. Each touch was careful, reverent. They traced the hull like archaeologists of disaster, feeling the vibration still trembling through the steel. Above, engineers murmured to each other over radios, their words lost in static. Machines worked like organs, the ship breathing through them once more. And through all of it, a hum remained low, patient, alive, as if the ocean itself was listening.
Steady lift, steady lift. No rush.
Salvage is not rescue. It's a wager between time and gravity, between loss and pride. Every minute underwater burned through oxygen, fuel, and hope. In the control room, pressure gauges trembled like nerves. "We lift the midsection first," someone said quietly. No one argued. Cables tightened, humming under the strain. The sea shuddered. 1,000 tons of metal began to rise. For a moment it worked, the hull shifting, the surface rippling like breath. But gravity never negotiates. The cable snapped. The sound tore through the air sharp, final followed by the crash of metal vanishing back into darkness. No one cursed, no one moved. They stood in the wind, faces gray with exhaustion, watching bubbles rise where millions had just sunk. On a nearby monitor, the numbers climbed past 2 million. The ocean didn't care. It never does.
Hold steady.
Not again.
By the 6th day, the fire had gone out. and so had the noise. What was left was silence, the kind that hums. The divers returned one last time, slow and deliberate, carrying only their tools and fatigue. They had saved what could be saved. The rest belonged to the sea. On the surface, the air smelled of rust and salt. One man stood at the railing, helmet off, hair matted with oil. He didn't speak. He just stared at the horizon, at the faint outline of a ship that was no longer a ship. Below him, bubbles drifted up from the wreck. Small, steady, like prayers leaving the body. He reached out and touched the hull, fingers pressing against the steel's cold pulse. There was still vibration there, faint, rhythmic, almost human. The hum of endurance. The breath of what refuses to disappear. Years later, the wreck sleeps quietly beneath calm blue water. Coral grows along its ribs. Fish weave through the skeleton like caretakers of what remains. Above, fishermen cast their nets, unaware of the tomb beneath their boats. The sea doesn't tell stories, it keeps them. The hum still lingers below, deep and steady, merging with the heartbeat of the earth. The Aegean Sea is gone now, but not forgotten, because the ocean never forgets. It absorbs, it transforms, it forgives. The steel, the fire, the men all part of its endless rhythm. The sea doesn't destroy. It only takes back what was always its own.